You've probably noticed most fish have diagonal lines running along both sides of their bodies. Have you ever wondered what these mysterious markings are on a fish's body? Or why they seem to be so important for a fish's survival? Well, we're going to answer those questions and more today. So stay tuned. Now, let's dive in. There are over 34,000 known species of fish living in our oceans today. That's a lot of fish, and each one is uniquely adapted to survive in its particular environment. Some are brightly colored to camouflage against the coral reefs they call home. Others have transparent bodies, so they blend in with the open ocean around them. And still others have elongated, flat shapes that let them squeeze through narrow spaces in the seafloor or between rocks and pebbles. But nearly all fish share certain features too. Almost all fish have fins, gills, and scales. And most fish have something else in common as well: diagonal lines running along both sides of their bodies. Most of these lines run from the head of the fish to its tail, although some species have lines that curve or even zigzag along their length. And some fish have multiple lines running on each side. But regardless of their exact shape or placement, all of these lines serve an extremely important purpose. Most fish have diagonal lines beneath their scales, just outside their muscles. These lines are extremely sensitive and vital to the fish's life. When another fish swims nearby, or the fish itself collides with an obstacle, the water around its body generates vibrations. These lines can detect even the slightest disturbances in the water and can also sense sounds. Since sound travels through water, these abilities are critical for a fish's survival because sound and vibrations can travel much faster than the fish could ever hope to see an approaching predator or potential mate. Hearing the rumble of an incoming shark or the clicking of a curious dolphin helps the fish react quickly and avoid becoming prey. Similarly, the vibrations produced by other fish's movements help the fish navigate without bumping into objects or other creatures. If you think these lines would be useful to have when you're out swimming, think again. It's impossible for humans to hear sounds underwater since we don't live in an aquatic environment. Our ears have evolved to pick up vibrations in the air rather than the water. And while we might be able to detect low-frequency sounds under the water, it would be like trying to hear someone talking at the far end of a football field. Thankfully, dolphins and whales have excellent hearing underwater and can use echolocation to find prey and navigate the ocean depths. But back to those diagonal lines, these remarkable structures allow fish to hear sounds and feel vibrations underwater. But they also enable fish to perceive subtle changes in water pressure and flow. This ability is particularly important in the deep, dark parts of the ocean where eyesight is limited, or in species whose eyes have degenerated. In these environments, fish rely entirely on their lateral line system to understand their surroundings. This system of receptors allows the fish to sense the movement of water molecules around them, providing essential information about the surrounding environment. Fish can use the information they receive through their lateral line system to avoid predators, find mates, locate prey, and navigate murky waters. For example, some species of fish, such as mud skippers, use their lateral line system to sense prey as they burrow in the mud. Others, like salmon, use it to navigate during migration, following the contours of the stream bed to stay on course. Still, others, like catfish, use their lateral line system to communicate with each other, producing sounds that travel through the water and reach their mates or potential rivals. Thanks to these diagonal lines, fish can swim freely among rocks and pebbles, listening intently for the clues that tell them where danger may lie. But how exactly do these lines work? The secret lies in the tiny pores that dot their surface. Each pore is connected to a hollow, fluid-filled tube just beneath the skin. Inside each tube is a bundle of hair-like sensory cells that respond to movement in the water. When the fish moves or the water around it shifts, the cells bend, triggering a signal that travels along the nerve fibers to the brain. These lines are so sensitive that they can detect vibrations as faint as 10 to the 12th power meters per second squared. To put that in perspective, that's about the same as feeling a mosquito landing on your hand. But the sensitivity of the lateral line system varies among species. Fish that live in fast-flowing streams tend to have more sensitive lines than those found in calm lakes. The mudskipper, for example, has the most sensitive lateral line of any fish studied to date. This is because its habitat, the muddy bottom of rivers and estuaries, requires it to be highly attuned to the subtle movements of its prey. This remarkable ability is made possible by the structure of the lateral line system itself. Unlike the lines of most other fish, the mudskipper's lateral line consists of 3 parallel rows of receptors instead of just 2. These receptors are arranged in a U shape, with the ends of the U facing forward. This arrangement gives the fish a broader field of view, allowing it to detect the slightest movement of water in a larger area. Another fascinating aspect of the lateral line system is that it works in tandem with the fish's other senses to provide a complete picture of its surroundings. For example, when a fish detects a vibration, it uses its vision and olfactory system to determine the source. This integration of sensory information allows the fish to respond appropriately to what it perceives. But what if a fish loses part of its lateral line? Studies have shown that fish can compensate for the loss of receptors on one side of their body by relying more on the receptors on the other side. However, this compensation has its limits. If a fish loses too many receptors or the entire system degenerates, it can have serious consequences. For example, in some species of blind cavefish, the lateral line system has completely disappeared. This is because these fish have no need for this sense in their dark, unchanging environment. As a result, they are unable to detect predators or prey, making them more vulnerable to being eaten. But for most fish, the lateral line system is not just a helpful adaptation, it's a necessity for survival. In the vast, sometimes dangerous underwater world, the ability to sense vibrations and pressure changes is critical for finding food, avoiding predators, and navigating treacherous terrain. These remarkable creatures have evolved over millions of years to utilize every sense available to them, and their lateral line system is a testament to the ingenuity of nature. So the next time you see a fish gliding through the water, take a moment to appreciate the intricate mechanisms that allow it to hear sounds and feel vibrations that remain silent to our ears. From the smallest minnows to the largest whales, each creature is uniquely adapted to thrive in its environment. And the fish's diagonal lines are a reminder that the natural world never ceases to amaze. So there you have it, a look at why most fish have diagonal lines on their bodies. We hope you enjoyed learning about the fascinating adaptations of these underwater creatures and the role they play in their ecosystem. Thanks for watching. See you next time.